My last video did really well, so I'm making another one. Here's 6 more things you need to do before leagues ends. First thing you're going to need to do is try to get a pet from an echo boss. We don't know what bosses are going to be in the next league. We don't know if they're going to do echo bosses in the next league. So if you like some of the echo bosses, like I like Soul Heredin, there is no better time to grind out a league's pet. If you didn't know, league's pets carry over to the next leagues. 2 pets I would recommend, of course, Soul Heredin and the Hunlif, because you get to skip the waves and you get to skip the prep, so getting the pet is way faster by doing the echo boss. Next thing you're going to want to do is to try a Fire Cape speedrun, especially if you haven't done the Inferno. There really is no middle ground wave-based content that's in between a Fire Cape and an Inferno. The Colosseum is arguably as hard as the Inferno or harder. So speedrunning the waves can get you some very good experience in clicking fast and endurance for doing wave-based content. Anyone can flick fast for 2 or 3 waves, but doing the fight caves with no breaks as fast as you can, it's not only really fun in leagues, it will give you some good experience. And you can turn in the Fire Capes for pets. Speaking of which, you can send in your Infernal, your Fire Capes, and your Dishonest Quivers for extra pet chances. This means you may have some extra pet chances in your bank right now, even after you quit leagues. And I'll also include your best in slot capes. So if you have 1 quiver left, 1 Fire Cape left, send them in. If you want some extra league points, you can get 200 for trading in a Fire Cape to the Inferno guy. I'm not going to say his name. I'll also add, if you have any points-based pets, for instance the Soul Wars pet or the Guardians of the Rift pet, spend all the points you have, all of them. If you get the pet, it'll absolutely be worth it. When I use up my capes and quivers for pets, I always go into Discord with a group of friends and stream the content. It's more exciting when you do it with friends. Next, you're going to want to try the Inferno. Just try it. Even if you don't think you can do it, eventually you're probably going to try it anyway. So it's good to get the experience in early and use up league supplies instead of main game supplies. The Inferno in leagues took me about 40 minutes. Usually in the main game it takes me 2 to 3 hours. That's including breaks. So you're not clearing your schedule to do the Inferno. Honestly, using the league's rewards, like using the stomp on the nibblers, is really fun content. It makes it really interesting. The Inferno is about solving waves for the first 66 out of 69 waves. So having interesting new tools as a way to solve the waves keeps things fresh. If you can complete the league's Inferno, which I think most people should be able to, you can do the multiple Jad Challenges. For these, it's always good to get in Jad practice. You can see if you're Wook's level and you can do 6 Jads at once. I absolutely cannot, but it's still fun to try. If you can do 6 Jads, there is a secret league-specific challenge, his 7th challenge. It's basically one of the multiple Jad waves, but there are little guys that spawn and make things harder. You won't be able to do this in the main game, so this is something you should absolutely do before leagues ends. Okay, the last thing I got for you is to use up your dopamine receptors specific to league relic content. You might not pick the same relics next time, you might not get the option to next time. Last league, I got millions of farming XP per hour. This league, you can get hundreds of millions of construction XP per hour. Use up what you have, at least until you're bored of the big numbers. I picked the Slayer relic 2 leagues in a row, so I'm likely not going to pick it next time. So for the rest of this league, I'm going to use up the Slayer dopamine. I'm also going to be doing some clues. My clue plan is basically to do clues until I'm sick of seeing collection log pop-ups. Okay, that's all I have for you. There's 6 more things to do before leagues ends. This is the second video I made on this topic, so if you haven't seen the first one, it'll be linked in the end screen. It'll be the Orange Awakener Orb video. Subscribe if I helped you out, and I'll see you guys next time.